Good morning. Great to see everyone out this morning. Beautiful fall morning. We're very blessed with a beautiful time of the year and great weather, and especially for this opportunity to gather as the body of Christ here this morning. Thank you for being here for Bible study this morning. As we've been announcing, got a Brother Dorian Flynn and his wife is with him today, or are visiting with us today. I had an opportunity to talk with Dorian just a little bit before class, and he's going to share with you some of the things this morning that are going on with the work there and with Partners for Africa. I'm excited every time he's here and to hear the things that he has to share. It's such an uplifting thing and a great work that he and his wife are doing there, and always very happy to hear from him and continue to pray for him and his family as they do that work in Partners for Africa. So I'm not going to take any more of your time, and Brother Dorian will share this, and then he'll also be with us at the worship hour. Brother Dorian.
Well, it is a joy for my wife and I to be here with you all. Every time we leave, it's a pumper upper for us. Thank you for the different ways that you've helped us, your prayer and your financial help and projects. The ladies who help sponsor children, it's just amazing, changing those children's lives. We get all the time during the year of some of those kids as they grow up, they hear the gospel, and it all started because we made that connection, and then it's because of the partnership we have with you all, and I want to thank you all so very much. So let me share with you. When you think about Africa, you think about wildlife, and so these pictures I just want to show you. They were taken in August, and pictures that we took. This elephant is 15 years old. We were in an open-air Jeep, and if you come with us, we want to take you on a safari. You have to have some of that time to see the wildlife. And this guy kept on trying to get to our Jeep. Now, he's 15. Years ago, we would probably call him a juvenile delinquent because he wants to cause some nonsense, He wants to bump our Jeep, maybe even rock it, maybe push it over. So every time he'd get closer, we'd keep driving away further and further, And we finally just said, that's enough of that, and we just continued. And he stuck his trunk out as if to say chicken, or something like that. I don't know. To see a rhino in the wild, you don't see them anymore. And we saw this guy. It was quite amazing because they're on the endangered species list, and they are killed for ridiculous quests of people in other parts of the world because they believe in something so false. But anyway, it was just amazing to see. And then we ran into these baby cheetahs. They are very hard to see during the daytime, especially with their mother close by. Their mother tries to, but they're getting big enough now. They're going to be on their own soon. But just magnificent, and you just don't get to see them very often. And then this guy right up here, he is really hard to find. There is a nocturnal creature. The leopard is so powerful that it makes its kill, kills a deer, grabs it by the throat with its mouth, and just climbs up the tree and eats it. I mean, takes the whole thing up there. They are so powerful, but magnificent creatures. And then, of course, that's my favorite. And I have a good friend that has a lion park where he raises lions, puts them back into the wild, and so at any given time, you can stay at his place. He's got places to stay. We've taken some groups there, and I don't know if when you sleep, you like a noisemaker, but I want to tell you, a great noisemaker is about 30 lions roaring at night, competing with each other. Of course, sometimes that doesn't relax people, but it's really something, because at any given time he has about between 50 and 60 lions there, so that's quite amazing. So let's get on with the work here. The beginning of this year, our son came to us and said he had been helping some. He's got his own job, career, but he says, "Dad, I'm all in. I want to work with Partners for Africa from now on." And so it just, we were just so excited about it. So this summer, him and his son came with us, and that's in South Africa. And our son Lee and his son Boston, but our son Lee now works with us full time. And so we've got a director of Partners for Africa in Africa, and Lee is taking on the mantle here. Co-directors, deputy directors, but Sherry and I are not going anywhere. We're still leading everything, but we're glad that they want to be a part of it. So this is our stats for this year so far. I'm not going to go through everything. You can read it, but I just want you to know this, that everything, when you think about the church, what Ella J has done this year, you get to the end of the year and you think about what's been accomplished, you include this, okay? Because we're partners and we can't do what we do if we don't have partners like you. And so up to this point, we've through September, because we don't have the final stats for October, but we have 678 that have been immersed into Christ. And I just want you to know you've been a part of that. And we are thankful for that. We have 131 home Bible studies going on, weekly home Bible studies. And let me just clarify that a little bit by saying that it's in 4 different countries. But the home Bible studies is not just single families, okay? They are families that have invited their neighbors. So any given study ranges between 15 to about 30 people. And that is one reason. And so one of the things that we do faithfully every year is you see 33 leadership, family, Richmond, and youth events. You can't, by the time the year is over, it's very possible that we have close to 1,000 immersed into Christ. You can't maintain a 77% retention if you don't grab them instead of them coming out of the water and you crossing your fingers and say, well, good luck now. Grab them and start studying with them. And so you prepare your leadership along those lines. And so, any new child of God that is born again, we want them to, this baby in Christ, we the grown-ups, as it were, we want to take them with us. And so there is the worship of the church, of course. But then we have extra Bible studies. We continue the home Bible studies. We plug them into our good works. Some of them like to feed children and that. But what happens is they immediately get into the life of the church. And so we see the purpose and the need for that. But you've got to be training leaders, and then you've got to be preparing the church for new people added to it. And so it's exciting and it's tremendous. But 92 churches planted in 16 years. Thankful. 139 wells completed in 5 countries. On any given day, over 400,000 people are getting clean water from our wells. Thank you, because you've helped be a part of that. Can you imagine? I was just telling the elders this morning, and I enjoyed meeting with them, that where Sherry and I live, the population isn't quite 100,000, but if you took a greater area. But 4 times, and how many times I'll drive. When I'm there, I'm hardly ever there. But when I'm there, I just think about 4 times the population of this area, people are getting clean water every day. And what does that do? Just the clean water? No, because where it's strategically placed, we drill wells not at random. We drill wells either where there is a church or where it's about to be planted, or at a school where the church is allowed to meet in the classrooms and that. But we make it, it's got to be able to lead us to the opportunity to share good news. And so when you've got, water, then you want to share living water. And so I thank you for that. Containers are still being sent. We had a lull because of COVID, and now we're picking up again. And so we're shipping to Eswatini, which used to be Swaziland. They've changed the name of the country. And now we're preparing 2 containers for Dominica and also for Zimbabwe right now. That is the arrival of the container in Eswatini. It was just a few months ago, and the right part of this, the picture or the slide, that picture on the right, is elders from the main congregation in the capital city, Matsapa, going to the rural areas and giving out clothes. And on the left is children receiving backpacks, and just so thankful, for them. So let me just take a little minute or two with this slide. The man standing in the middle there, it's Justin Saziba and his brother, Joshua. One of the things that Partners for Africa does not do is we do not raise money for local preachers, and we do not raise money to build church buildings. We want to use our resources to the best of our ability to create opportunities to share the gospel, and then also to do the good works which allows us to share the good news. But what we do is help preachers to become independent there, financially independent. So Justin, because we drill water wells, we drilled him a water well, okay? And now he has this land that he's had, and now he's growing tomatoes and making a living for himself and not dependent. Oh, he was supported years ago by a couple of congregations in the state, but what happens a lot of times is congregations will change their emphasis and then support will be lost. But now has an income stream from home. And so the preaching of the three congregations he is a preacher for three of those churches in the rural area. We got him a bicycle, and he rides to them, and now he's got his own income, and it's a way to go. And by the way, I don't have a picture of Victor and Lovu, but Victor and Lovu is a preacher in one of the congregations in a big city of Bulawayo, 1.6 million, and the church is really growing, and Victor loves photography, could never afford a camera, not a really good camera. So we sent him to a photography, it was a lengthy course, and we bought him a camera, and he's supporting his family through weddings and special occasions, That's the way we want to go. And then one final thing. Remember I said we were shipping a container? One's going to be, we ship 40-foot containers, but one will be a 20-foot because there is a couple that just decided that they would make pizzas in their oven. And so they started selling it, and people like the pizzas. And so we are shipping a container with all goods to help people. They're going to keep the 20-foot container. They're going to modify it, and they're going to have their own, quote, Pizza Hut. And that's the way they can support themselves. So we're thinking outside of the box as far as helping them there to do what they can, and it's a blessing, So East Ridge Food Kitchen, this is in Cape Town, South Africa. It's a city where I was born. It's right at the tip of Africa, about 4 million people. There's the East Ridge Church of Christ, which is in an inner city neighborhood, and I want you to know they've got gangs there. Sons are killed, fathers are, there's this gang warfare from time to time that explodes, and that church there says we're not going anywhere. We are supposed to be in our community, and we're going to stay there. And so this past year, we've started helping them with the food kitchen and helping with clothes. And there are, widows and mothers that have lost their children, and we're helping them, and the church is really gaining influence. So we're glad we can be a part of that. Now we go to rural Zambia. I just want you to know the area we're working in. 7 countries, Southern Africa. I'm not going to get into statistics except this one. Zambia, Namibia, and South Africa individually are all bigger than Texas. In fact, South Africa is almost twice the size of Texas. So I just want you to know the area that we are working in, And so there's Christians everywhere. Come help us, come, and we're trying to do as much as we can to assist them. So this is rural Zambia. The church where we had drilled a well was so proud They wanted us to come because they were about to open up their building, a new building. There it is. How did they get it? Well, we got them water, and so then they built their oven and made their bricks. And then after making the bricks, they put their building together. Now, we were there 1 week earlier because they were having another grand opening. What do I mean by that? They had their building, but they were all sitting on the floor. And they went into the bush, and they cut down some trees, and they made pews. And this was the first Sunday where they would sit on pews. Their pews. And they were so happy. I don't know how long we would last on those pews. Jeremy, could you cut your sermon a little short this morning? Or whatever. And the preacher, they had surprised him with a brick-built pulpit. He was just so, And you know what, brethren? I love helping people like that. Just do their part, man. We'll do everything that we can. If you could give us just a little help along this way or whatever. So this is our grandson there. It's not the best of pictures, but our oldest grandson just graduated from high school. And so I said to him, Tristan, before you begin your next chapter in life, why don't you and Granddad go spend some time in Africa together? So we left in May, and he was with me the whole time, and we were in 3 countries. And he was working with some of the young people, as you can see there, and next to their new building there. I want you to just see this, because you can see our truck is pulled up because they said, it's really dry. Some of the people are starving. Can you help us with meal? And so we, of course, did that. But there was this young boy, and he had his country-made soccer ball. How did they do that? They find a plastic bag, and they blow it up. The best plastic bag, no leaks, nothing in it. Blow it up, not completely as hard as it could be, but pretty close. They tie it. And then they put bag after bag after bag after bag after bag. And then they tie it with string, buddy. And then they say, let's go to the field. I don't know how long it lasts, because there's no grass on that field. Or they call a field a soccer pitch. But they have a great time, man. But I mean, I just thought, just ingenuity there, So one of the things we're doing is we're collecting soccer balls now, because I want to go into those villages and just give them a soccer ball, play with. This is us. This is Haley there as our deputy director in Africa, and our grandson Tristan unloading food for that village that day, and some of our new brothers and sisters getting food. And as I said before, that's a 10 kg bag of meal, 22.2 pounds, which can feed a family for about a month, 1 meal a day. Okay. And the local hospital there, we went and visited a brother who was sick, and found out they were only eating 1 meal a day, the patients, the staff, And so we brought them as much meal as we possibly could with what we had left, and doctors and staff and all that was so happy. So Dorian, what's the longevity of that gift? The longevity of that gift is that brothers of the church there are now serving as chaplains at the hospital. You don't just go up there and say, can I be a chaplain? But if you go with some food, you get a door opener. All right, for all you ladies that have been helping with sponsored kids, I just want you to know that we thank you so much. When I look at those kids and just see 10 years down the road, and they are adults now, and the vast majority are now being added to the body of Jesus Christ through baptism. How many of them are going to say, it was just some people we've never met in this place called LJ, Georgia, or wherever else it is, and they led us to Jesus. And so I just want to thank you for that. This is a brand new church. We established 3 new congregations so far this year. This is one of them. And how we started it was, and I say we, it is really Mtosa Banda, who's one of the preachers there. He just started a Saturday Bible backyard club. And so they would study the Bible, And then they would play games, then they provide them a meal. Well, the families in the villages, there's not much to do. They wanted to see what was happening. I'm talking about the parents, Mothers are all interested. And from that, they planted a church. And we're just so thankful. And so I show you the food that was cooked by those women. But what's special about that is those women are all new Christians from the Backyard Bible Club who came and watched and observed. And then they became Christians, and now they're helping to feed their children. And it's quite amazing how God works. Those are two cutie pies. And they just having a good time. Boy, I don't know. I know they don't get a meal, sometimes a meal a day or meal every other day. So when they get a good plate of food, it's just like, this is the best. This is the best. And this guy too, his t-shirt says, "I'm super." And yes, you are. And so we've been able to clothe him and then also give him some food as well. So because of that Backyard Bible Club, there was an elderly man on the right. That's our preacher there, Tosa Banda. An elderly man on the right and his wife who have land out there. And they observed what was going on. And they said, "We want to give 2 acres for the church." I thought that, wasn't that just awesome? And he says, "Because I love what you're doing with the children, we want you to have this land." And so they were standing on the land that he was giving to them. So now the SHINE project. SHINE stands for spiritually helping, nurturing, and equipping. We've got all these good works going on. It's not the end game. The end game is that they know Jesus Christ. So SHINE, spiritually helping, nurturing, and equipping, deals with some of our projects. So Namibia is a relatively new country that we have gone into, and we've started working with the men. The man on the right, the right picture is Johannes Peters. He loves personal evangelism. And he just door to door, and sets up Bible studies. And then he works with these men. Some of these preachers are in other towns, and they have got a tremendous evangelistic team going on. So we are helping them with that as far as getting the word of God out to the people. And so thankful for that. And then we go to Zambia. And we were in Zambia recently, as I mentioned. And what's wonderful is the gatherings. We had, I think there was about 700 or so people there, between 600 and 700 that came. And it was a lectureship. So they wanted the church. We wanted to meet the church. And I said, well, let's have this lectureship. So, we had that with them, but they brought they brought neighbors with them. They were so excited. And can you imagine you get to the end of the day of a lectureship, not a gospel meeting, lectureship, and then you've got these people that said they want to be baptized. And so then we studied with them further so that they understood, what they were completely, what they were doing. And so it's great to have 10 people lined up, at the end of the day, and it makes for a great spectacle. It doesn't matter whether it's here at LJ or it's in Africa. Someone being baptized into Christ is just an awesome. And then the lectureship ended and others continued to study. And so we were sent these last 2 pictures. I say last 2. These are the last. There'll be more coming, but these are pretty recent. Now, I've said this before, but can I remind you, just in case you're visiting, when you go to a river in some parts of Africa, you just don't go down to the river and get in. You have to have men with poles who start checking out that there's no crocodiles, because you want to be raised to a newness of life, you know what I mean? So we get that done. But anyway, they were immersed into Christ. We're thankful for it. And this is in the city of Bulawayo, and we work with over 300 ministers. And this was one of our leadership seminars that we have. Of course, you saw we had 33 of them. And we had this past summer, we had 4 teams come in. And 2 of the teams had men and women, both, that did leadership with men and with women. And we were thankful for that and for all that they did. So this is the congregation at our school. These are the men that are there, okay? Now, our school serves 6 villages. When I say the school, we've got students coming from 6 primary schools. But we've planted a church on campus. And the purpose is because we want our students to know and learn of God through study of the Bible. But then we want them to have a place where they can apply what they've been challenged to do as Christians. And so there's the church there. These gentlemen asked, these men of the church asked if they could meet with me. And they said, Dorian, we've got 6 villages. It's quite a distance to go to all, but we feel like we've got to be in those villages. Let those people know they're welcome to come and be with us. And we want to help them in different ways. And so they said, we need transport. And when they said transport, then I went, we don't, in my mind, I didn't say anything. In my mind, I was going, we don't do that. We don't raise money for trucks and vehicles for individuals. That's my thinking. That wasn't their thinking. They said, could you provide us with bicycles? And I said, if you want, absolutely. They said, they said, just get bicycles with thick tires because the roads are so bad. And I thought, boy, if you want to do this and you want to get, you need and bicycles, I'm going to get it done. So anyway, through the Lord and through people like yourselves, we got it done. And so they got those bicycles going every week, man, out to the villages. And they've got their assignments and they have their strategies, it's great. So this is Amazon Clinic, and just wanted to show a picture or two. Some inoculations going on. The clinic was opened in 2017. We've had over 220 babies born there. One side of the clinic is maternity, and the other side is just about everything else. We've got those that have broken bones, infections, snake bites, whatever. So that is just all wonderful that we do. But let me just add this: it is a free clinic, and it's because of our agricultural program. I was mentioning to the elders about 18,000 tomato plants. We can get 2 crops a year. And so we are thankful for that. In fact, our school now has an agricultural program going where the students are helping to grow food for themselves as well. So. And let me just say this also, that with the clinic is a good work, but remember, that's not the end game, okay? So when we have a waiting area there, and a waiting area where they could enroll in World Bible School, or they could, if they wanted to have home Bible studies, they can. And the preacher at the Amazon, man, he is all over it. And so we have had several baptisms of people waiting there that after they've been treated and, they come to church and we've studied with them and immersed them into Christ. So we're thankful for that. Amazon Christian Academy, and this is the last section I want to share with you. We are so excited about it. So our mission statement is preparing students for life globally and eternally. Okay? This was taken the day the school opened, or pretty close to it. That boy on the left was very weak. Weak, I mean by physically. He wasn't eating every day. And I'll show you where those students live, their homes, but in a minute. But if you had to just see him in a pair of shorts, you'd probably see his ribs in that. Their minds have been, God has given them wonderful brains, but if you don't have the right nutrition, that's also a disadvantage. But what happens, you catch a young person like that, and the girl there, because we have an even number of boys and girls, and then you start giving them spiritual nutrition and physical nutrition and love and care, then things change. And so that's him 3 years down the road, or 2.5 years down the road now. And he's getting awards, academic achievements, and he looks so much more healthier, I mean, it's just wonderful to see, and we're thankful. That's her parents, so excited because what was special with this young lady is people have asked me, are you giving scholarships? And I said, the only scholarships that we are giving right now is for Bible. And so she was one of 2 top students. And so she got a full semester free scholarship because of her first in Bible. And they were so excited about that. But that's the houses most of our students come out of. So there's no plumbing, no electricity, and we are with the poorest of the poor. If they had to come to school in their own clothes, not the uniforms that we give them for our school, some of them would just be in a pair of shorts, no shoes, maybe one shirt, But of course, with our containers, we've helped giving them clothes now and that sort of thing too. But one of the things I love about uniform, especially amongst people that are in extreme poverty, is that when they are with each other on a daily basis, boys and girls, they're on an even plane, and I love that. Nobody has the Nike shoes, and this one has holes. So it makes a difference. Anyway, so here's this student that comes out of a mud hut, and they come to our school. Now, when I was here last time, we'd only finished 2 blocks. You can see those 2 ahead, but then we completed this 3rd block, okay? And thankful for that. And each block has 2 classrooms. Well, there's our science lab that we completed. Now, can you imagine a student coming out of a mud hut comes to a science lab now, But I mean, we want to. As I mentioned to the elders, I said, I don't know if the Lord tarries, I don't know whether I'll be here or not, but to have a student come out of a mud hut and then graduate from our university, because that's where we're going, and be a Christian doctor, lawyer, farmer, teacher. Wow. The community is so enthralled by it. They said there is no rural school in Zimbabwe that has a science lab. And so some of them had to come around. You can see they got their cameras, taking pictures of it. I want to show you this too because it's a very dry area. I don't know what the rainfall in LJ is, but in Matabeleland, Zimbabwe, it's about 19 inches annually. So, and then the rainy season's only about 4 months, sometimes 5, and then it shuts down. So what we do is we drill water wells, but some years can be lean, So what we're trying to do is collect the water that comes from the sky when it comes, and that's our cisterns. They're collecting off our classroom roofs. In fact, we are our goal right now is set to collect 100,000 gallons. That's our goal, 100,000 gallons. And we feel like that if we can have that, our school can continue to expand, and then when the rains end, we could still go maybe 3 months without anything, without tapping into, because over time, your water level's going to drop if you keep using it all the time. So we're trying to, be as all that we can. So anyway, we're putting those cisterns there, every building to collect water. And let me see, I hit the wrong one. Okay. So this is a sports building we just finished, but this is where the church is meeting. So we had a special day. Look at that crowd. We had over 700. This is 3.5 years ago. It was just bush. There was nothing there. There was no church, and the Lord has just blessed us with all our partners like yourselves, and we've just gone in there, man. And I mean, things are just exploding for God's glory. So we're so thankful of that. That's the building that we finished the 3rd classroom wing, and we finished that sports building, and now we're starting on 2 more buildings to get that done. That's the inside of it, because you saw it when all the people were in there, and you saw the rafters. Well, we've got further than that, but I've got to show you this story. So, you have a big building like that, and that's a sports building, so it has showers and commodes and all that, for the girls and then for the boys. And so you've got to have the septic system. So it's solid rock there. You see the rock there, And so now we're starting to build the cistern, but they had to cut through the rock. So what do? You get a backhoe, don't you, or something like that? Well, we don't have that there, but we've got plenty backs. And with pick, an axe, and a spade, they dig. And then you had to have that, and they dug that too, because you had to have that extra. So I joke, I say, there's advertisements in the United States that says if you'll exercise just 35 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, you can stay fit. And these workers here, our construction workers that are Christians now, they'll say, but if you work 7 hours a day the way we work, every time they pick up that axe, there is an 8-pack. I mean, they are chiseled. Their backs and their arms, I mean, no, we've got the workout for you, Not that we would want it, but I'm just saying. So that's the finished product. We've already filled it in. The septic's finished, completed. So that's where we are. And now we've started the foundation, getting it prepared to pour for the next classroom wing. And it'll be on the other side. And then also, we've started the foundation for a multi-purpose building. It's almost like a park pavilion, but it's big enough to have a basketball court. But it's not going to be just a basketball court. They can play volleyball, but it's not going to be just for sports. The school is going to meet there. That's what we're building. School's going to meet there. The church is going to meet there because it's outgrown its facility. And then we are going to be able to rent it out to non-profit organizations and government organizations for special seminars that they have, and that another income stream, because that's going to have the largest roof in a 100-mile area. So people are going to want to come and rent it. And that's Haley on the right. Haley came to Heritage Christian, Florence, Alabama. Used to be International Bible College. He went then to the University of Alabama, North Alabama University in Florence, got an IT degree, so he had a Bible and an IT degree. And then the guy on the left is one of the teachers at our school, but I just want to give you his story for just a minute. His name is Nathan. His father was a faithful gospel preacher. His father got killed in a car wreck in his 40s. And Nathan came to us when he heard about the school. He said, I'm not a preacher like my father. He said, I can't do that. He says, but I want to affect young lives. And would you help me? And he threw down his credentials as far as his high school grades, and he'd already got scholarships from universities and everything. And he said, I want to come back and teach at the school. And so that's what he's done. And so we sent him to university, and he came back. He's working on his master's right now, but he teaches math, and he is a computer whiz. But he has met a young lady who is a Christian. She is a member of a Church of Christ in northern Zimbabwe, and now has come down here because she is a pre-med, well, that's history. She is a doctor now, and now she's specializing in surgery. So guess what? Nathan's teaching at the school, and we're going to have our first residential doctor there at the clinic, and a Christian at that. So there's our students. Right now we've got 100. 25 boys, 25 girls each class, and we're about to get our next class in January. And so thankful. By the way, the school will be built for 1,200 students, but we're starting out slow because we knew we would make mistakes. So let the mistakes be small, before we get big. And there's our teachers. And let me just say about the teachers, they're all Zimbabweans. It means they're not there for a 5-year stint. Nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying they've invested, and they're between the ages of 27 and 35. If the Lord tarries, think of the long road, and they are second-generation churches of Christ as well. And there's our chorus. And can you imagine, or maybe you that have children, you don't have to imagine it. A student that comes out of a mud hut gets onto an iPad, and it's a no-brainer. I mean, they just take to it like that, just like our young children do, same thing. They come wired. And the greatest thing that Sherry and I get to do when we're there is to give every class their Bibles. And the mother came to us 2 years ago, and she said, thank you for the Bible. She said, I want you to know that this Bible, I know you gave it to my daughter, but this is going to be the family Bible. And we've decided as a family that we will read the Bible once a week. Wow, what an idea. And that's what's happening now. I told the elders they are starting, for a year, they were all new. They didn't know what we were. They just knew we were a high school, and it's the only high school in the area. And now they've heard the truth, and now they are being baptized, boy. They are coming now, wanting to obey the gospel. And we are so thankful, so thankful. Have about 2 or 3 minutes. Anybody would like to ask me a question?
Dorian, is there any fear from government involving themselves in this?
Well, if you followed the news, you know, Zimbabwe just had elections. It's not really. I mean, they had elections, but no. So I'll tell you this. It is a government that is not a democracy. They've been in power since independence, but they consider themselves Christian. And we have built a high school in an area where they have no high school. Government has no high school. And so they just thankful. Now, sometimes they will, when they speak and we have them over, they'll say, well, we're thankful that we have helped make this possible. And that's fine with me. Go, you know, you say, but they leave us alone, and they just thankful that we've got that there, because there's 2 layers in Zimbabwe. There's the elected government who have the real power, but they respect the chiefs in the villages. And when the chief gives a stamp of approval, this is what I want for my people, they know the chief determines votes for them. So there's that dynamic going on, and the chief is just so thankful because the families come and say, our child would have never had a high school education if they didn't come in. And so we could, and we could teach the Bible. In fact, let me just say one thing. I know what we're going to, Zimbabwe was a Rhodesia, which was a colony, British colony. And at that time, England was, I guess we could consider a Christian nation in that sense. Not anymore, but incorporated in their curriculum for high school was 2 books of the Bible, Luke and Acts. And you could take, that was an exam you could take and be added to your graduation, your high school graduation diploma. You know, it's equal with math and science and all that. Well, you know, Zimbabwe never changed it. So here we go. So the government, whatever we teach, they also require that we teach Luke and Acts. I can go with that.
Well, that's all it was.
You know? Yeah.
So do they learn in English? Or
Yes. So they learn in English. That's right. But most of them speak 2 languages or 3. And they do not speak English at home. But our school requires, and most of the city schools still, like colonial days, require that we be taught in English. So yes, they don't just learn English. We speak English. Yeah. And that's a blessing for them, especially with the World Wide Web and all of that. It's a blessing to them in the long run. But just say, if you bring a team over and you want to come to the school and teach, man, those kids are ready, and they're ready for a southern accent too. You know, they're ready for it. And I liked it. I met a girl from Alabama, boy, and I liked that accent, boy. We've stayed together. I've stayed with that accent for 50 years. Of course, I did tell the elders this morning, I said, when I married her, I became bilingual. Thank you all so much. Appreciate it.